time for another episode of The Get Up. What's the Get Up? It's a slingshot. It's a chance to pull back your day and launch you into a brand new adventure with encouragement, motivation, and practical actions you can apply immediately to the goals you care about the most. Let's talk about today's idea. I have never been invited to give a commencement address at a college. This is disappointing because for the first time in my life, I own a sports coat that fits and a belt that is not two-sided. I wouldn't wear it with a white t-shirt because a sports coat with a t-shirt is a little too Miami Vice for me, but you get the idea. I have this coat on for illustration purposes. I felt like a little bit of costuming would push this video over the edge. I might be considered too young to give a commencement address, as I'm only 44 years old, despite the gray hair I've acquired that prompted a TSA agent a few years ago to proclaim, "You sure that's you?" upon seeing my dark-haired driver's license. But I have spent 22 years in the workforce. Gosh, that sentence makes me feel so old. I've worked at big companies and small companies. I've been promoted and fired. I started my own business. I found and left my dream job. I've learned a lot, mostly the wrong way, and would prefer you didn't. So, as you head into the real world, allow me to share some things nobody will tell you. Number one, the real world is more fun than grumpy adults have ever told you. Don't listen to people in their 40s who act like the best part of your life ends the minute you get your diploma. Is the real world all cotton candy and unicorn rides? It's not, but sometimes misery loves company and recruits it too. When you start a new job, there will inevitably be a group of people there who don't like what they're doing and don't like being an adult. Avoid these people like the plague. They've bought into the cultural lie that a job is just a job and that you should only work for the weekend. Nonsense. Your job can be meaningful. Your weekdays can matter. Number two, one of your friends will be instantly successful. They will move to New York or San Francisco and make finding a great job seem easy. They will earn the kind of money that allows you to pay for your own HBO Go pass instead of stealing your parents'. You will hate them at least a little bit because watching their meteoric rise through the filtered window of social media will make you feel like it'll never happen for you. Don't get caught in the trap of comparison. Number three, your first job might not involve your major in a major way. Now that's only a minor problem though. You have 40 years to reunite your job with your major or find out that your major may not have major bearing on what you do in life. Number four, your 20s are lonelier than you think. They are. They're glamorized in culture, presented as the time of your life. And as you binge watch Tiger King on Netflix, you'll wonder, is every other person my age doing something amazing right now that I didn't even know about? They're not. The truth is, when you leave college, you leave the tightest, largest concentration of people who are your age. Suddenly, you're scattered around the country and community won't involve walking out onto the quad. You'll have to fight for it. That's not failure, that's reality. Seek it out. It's not always easy to make friends as an adult, but it's definitely possible if you'll be brave. Number five, being an adult comes with an obscene amount of paperwork. Stay on top of it. Taxes, 401k enrollment, healthcare, apartment contracts. Prepare to be awash in forms that make the Apple service agreement seem pleasant. Don't ignore the paperwork. I once did and assumed the company I worked for would handle a healthcare issue I had. I thought I had kidney stones. Turns out it was just an ultimate frisbee injury. What an adult I was. I threw the paperwork in the trash. I didn't think anything of it for years until later when a collection agency came after me for $81 and my credit rating was garbage. Number six, your generation gets unfairly labeled for entitlement. Don't accept that. Be humble at work. Show up with questions and a willingness to learn. Don't act like you know everything already, because you don't. But you know what? Neither do we. People my age and the generations older than I am are a little afraid of you sometimes. We're scared of the technologies you might know about that we've never even heard of. We don't want to look dumb when we ask, hey, what is TikTok? The truth is we need you, just like you need us. Number seven, pay attention to meetings. Roughly 93% of your job depends on your ability to pay attention to meetings. You might have been unable to focus in class, but now in a meeting you have to focus. People are going to notice when you're disconnected, even if it's on Zoom. People can tell when you're bored and not mentally present. Ask questions, add value, make the most of the meetings you have to attend. Number 8, treat email like it matters. The other 7% of your job will be managing email. Oh, I wish it wasn't. I hate email. But you have to communicate clearly in your emails. You need to respond to your managers and your coworkers quickly. You need to stay out of stupid passive-aggressive traps like CCing someone superior as a veiled threat. Work your inbox like it's your job, because it is. Or Slack, or whatever form of communication your company relies on the most. Number 9, if you move home, make sure you bring an exit strategy with you. Pay rent to your parents. Do your own laundry. Buy your own food. Have a deadline for how long you're going to stay there. Home is comfortable, but the distance between comfortable and complacent is surprisingly short. Just because you're sleeping in the same room you had in middle school doesn't mean you have to act like an adolescent. And if anyone tries to make you feel ashamed to be living at home with your parents, don't listen to them, especially if the entire world happens to be going through a global pandemic, hypothetically speaking, of course. Number 10, don't spend all your time with idiots and then wonder why it's hard to meet someone great to date. If you moved to the desert and then told me, the sea kayaking here is terrible, I would agree. Then I'd ask you why you expected sand dunes to offer optimal water sports. If you want to marry someone amazing, spend a lot of time with a lot of amazing people. Number 11, jump into the wild west of side jobs. The days of having the same job for 40 years and then getting a gold watch when you retire are over. Hooray. Your job won't be limited or defined by geography. The internet has leveled the playing field. Anyone can connect with anyone. You don't need a physical storefront or even a physical product to start a business. Your ability to make money will only be limited by your ability to hustle. Number 12, don't become a dinosaur. Just because your formal education might have ended doesn't mean you should stop learning. If you don't keep old skills sharp and continue learning new ones, your career will become obsolete. And lastly, number 13, remember it's all an audition. In addition to the uncertainty we're all facing economically right now, full-time jobs are getting harder to find as more companies lean on the contract model. They'll hire you on a part-time basis or even as a full-time contractor, but won't jump into a long-term relationship without testing you out first. That's not failure, that's the future. Treat it like an audition. You might feel like you're just an understudy stuck backstage, but you're not. You're proving to that company you have what it takes to earn a leading role. Today's job market demands flexibility, hustle, and occasionally a little bit of tap dancing. You know what? Drake was right. You are going to start at the bottom. That's okay. Put your pride aside and recognize this is a starting point. This isn't your final job. It's your first job. You've got one foot on the ladder, and now you get to climb it. Give yourself time and be patient. Welcome to the real world, where people who are in their mid-40s try to casually reference Drake in a thinly veiled attempt to seem hip. I'm not hip. I need you to teach me what's coming next. So does everyone else. Congratulations on finishing college. Congratulations on joining the real world. We've all been waiting for you. Thanks for watching this episode of The Get Up. If you like this video, I have dozens of other ones where I'm not wearing a sport coat. You should check them out. Make sure you hit that bell so that you don't miss the next one. Thanks for liking this video, and please subscribe. I'll keep making these if you keep watching them.